Hello everybody and welcome back to the Alpine F1 Manager 22 career mode. In this episode we go to Silverstone. Alright, so from the inbox we have a post-race debrief, just talks about kind of the stuff that we need to work on. Brake cooling is the next thing that we're going to focus on with part development, so we'll be building, I think, a suspension part. We're exceeding our expectations. We have an overview. We have our ATR period ending soon. We should have a part being finished, so we should be able to dump all those hours into a new part. Alonso has low morale. Hiring talented new staff members, keeping them paired. Okay. Building our upgrades to improve their morale, offering them a high salary. We're not doing that. Performing well on race weekends. Okay, so I assume since he had a bad weekend, he has low morale, especially since he got rear-ended and took it out like not too far into the Grand Prix. And then we have our race simulator upgraded. I'm actually going to look at the race simulator since we've been working so hard on Jack Duhan. I think it's going to be worth it to kind of invest another 4.9 into this. And then any new young talent that we get, this is going to help their weekly experience gain. So I think this is a worthy upgrade. Alright, so following the crash last weekend for Alonso, we have Alonso's engine that he had just put in fresh for that race. It's down to 68%. His ERS is down to 55%, and his gearbox is just, it's gone. So I think we're going to have to take another penalty for this weekend for Alonso. We'll spend all the money that it takes to kind of get us to do that. And we'll start him at the back. Silverstone is a place where it looks like we can pass, so I'll take that for the final couple races of the year. You know, we only have 11 races remaining, so I still think that taking these penalties are worth it, but some of the other parts that we are lacking, we have a suspension part that has been destroyed, a chassis part that has been destroyed, and we've lost 2 or maybe even 3 front wings from this weekend. Also, one of our rear wings is gone, which I believe came from that accident as well, but we're not going to focus on rebuilding that. Alright, so from our manufacturing tab, we're going to develop 3 new wings just to kind of have them ready to put on the car, just normal development, nothing too crazy. Alright, so since we had a suspension part damage, we're going to just build 1 and it'll be done before the British Grand Prix. Alright, so last thing from the inbox before we continue, it was just a up-and-coming driver, Franco Colapinto. His rating's too low for us to really consider him, but we'll kind of see what he does throughout the rest of the simulation. Alright, so we have a chassis that has been manufactured. We're going to go to our cars tab, we're going to go to warehouse, we're going to go to chassis. Can we manufacture another one? We can, and it'll be done. We'll rush this one, and it'll be done definitely before the Grand Prix. Moving forward. Alright, we have our design completed, so we have a new side pod that we can manufacture parts for. We'll get to those prepared if we can for next weekend, but we're going to have to design a new part with all the remaining ATR period that we have. Alright, so showing the suspension that we're building, we need to work on some areas of the car. I'm noticing we're down on the brake cooling. We have other areas that need to be fixed as well, like the airflow. Wait, where do we see airflow? Right, that's not... Is it on the screen? No, it is not. Alright, so we have our airflow that's now 6... That would be 16th after making this part, but we're going to focus on brake cooling in the next tab. So we need to really work on getting this up here. We're going to just crank it up. Our low speed, we're going to crank up here too. We're going to crank this up as well, and then we're going to crank this up also. So we get a somewhat balanced, approach to this new part that's coming out. So this is going to be our new suspension piece, and hopefully, oh, we're going to have all these try to improve here a little bit. All right. This will be our new suspension piece, and hopefully this helps with our brake cooling. We have 8 engineers available. We're only going to put 4 of them on this. Rush it's going to double the time. You know what? We'll rush it. It'll be ready in 19 days. We're going to move forward. We have another manufacturing complete on the suspension. So we should be good to go there. We have our CFD simulator done, I believe. That is the, yeah, it's the $10 million upgrade that we'd put in. I think we're going to hold off on factory upgrades until near the end of the year. which tab does it actually show you the how much is left of your cost cap? All right, so while I can't find the direct cost cap and kind of like how we're getting close to it, I'm going to just spend this on the design center because we can have three uh, projects going on. So I think that we can have two actively focusing on development of the current car, and then we can always have just one always rolling of development for next year. All right, so we're gonna keep moving forward here. We have our new ATR period. We have a bad gearbox. And then we have a warning on Alonso's contract. So we are not going to renew his contract. Just reminding you guys. We are going to have to find a replacement for him for next year. Alright, new chassis manufactured. Front wing manufactured. Got race preview for the British Grand Prix. Pause if you want to see that. And we have our financial report. Okay. Oh, it's just the little bar graph thing. And then we have a car report. Kind of shows the areas that we need to improve, which is the brake cooling, engine cooling, and the low speed. All this is just kind of stuff we already knew. Alright, so we have our performance targets updated. I just went one reaching Q3, one person finishing in the top 8, and then we managed to hit our qualifying position streak last week. I set it to 1 instead of 2 for the top 10, and that kind of worked out in our favor, but we're going to move on to practice. Alright, so getting ready for the first practice. Messing with a couple things, but first off, we're going to take a new engine, we're going to take a new ERS, and we are going to take a new gearbox for Alonso just for this race, and then we should be good to the end of the season. Car setup. I'm actually messing with a website that helps with doing setups. I've not done anything with it yet, so this is kind of my first foray into this website. But if it ends up being good, I'm gonna link it in the description. If it's not there, it probably sucked. All right, so getting ready for qualifying, we're gonna have just 3 sets of tires to use for this Q1 appearance, and we have all new engine stuff, powertrain for Alonso, so he's gonna hit a bunch of penalties. I need to go through here and actually give Ocon his race stuff. Ocon will start where he qualifies. Alonso will not. The setup website I mentioned beforehand, they did a fairly good job. Kind of gives you some base set stuff, but yeah, it's f1setups.it. I like it. It's not perfect, but it definitely helps you if you're just trying to get something good out the gate. Gives you some good base sets, and just is very easy to kind of get the ball rolling. But we're gonna move on to qualifying.
Radio check, radio check.
Loud and clear.
And green light.
Alright, jumping on board here with Fernando Alonso for Q1. We're just going to see where Ocon goes up comparing to his last times. They're on old tires. We should be safely through, but we're still just sending them out to kind of see what they can do. Alonso is up his first sector. It looks like Ocon's up his second sector. We set out Ocon pretty early, but this track's so big that you can kind of go out early and have enough room to where you're not going to have to worry about lap down cars. Let's see what Alonso does through second sector here. Second sector, we're up. Ocon goes third. Looks like he got held up pretty good on his first lap. Alonso coming through the final sector here. Gonna come across the line. And he's gonna stay third, or he's gonna jump up to third. Alright, so we're jumping on board here with Valtteri Bottas. He's the final car in at the moment. Now he's down below the cut line. He's right behind, it looks like a Williams, and it looks like the Williams is going to hold him up here. He's going to cross the line, and he's going to go 10th. Alright, so looking at your Q1 results here, you have Leclerc top of the board, 5th and 6th Alonso. We got a bunch of people taking grid penalties, so hopefully Alonso can end up at least ahead of some people. But Joe Guan Yu, Sebastian Vettel, Alex Albon, Lance Stroll, and Nicholas Latifi are out in Q1. Alright, so for Q2 here, we're going for the 2 flying laps. We're doing a cooldown with the worn tires that we did our first 2 laps on in qualifying, just to get some laps in, and then we should go out at the end with some fresh tires. So we're going to move on to the start of Q2.
Okay, radio check.
Loud and clear.
Alright, so we're going to take a risky strategy here and not go out in Q2. Very end, we're going to ride on board with Mick Schumacher. Alright, so Mick Schumacher, last person on track. I'm pretty comfortable with our almost 6/10 of a second lead over the rest of the field here, or ahead of the cut line, sorry. So we're going to bet on the fact that we can go through and we're going to have 2 brand new sets for the final round of qualifying. So we're going to watch and see what Mick can do here compared to the field. Looks like first place on track is going to be one of the AlphaTauris. I'm going to assume that's, we're going to see who that is. That is Tsunoda. Tsunoda goes ahead of the cut line. All right, one of the Ferraris is going to come through. All right, we're going to see where everyone else ends up. One of the McLarens is coming. They're going to both stay below the cut line. And Schumacher moves up to 12th. Alright, so Q2 has Charles Leclerc top of the board, Alonso 5th, Ocon 6th. Those eliminated in Q2 are Tsunoda, Schumacher, Ricciardo, Norris, and Hamilton. Schumacher and Ricciardo have grid penalties. Alright, so for Q3 we have 2 brand new sets of tires that we can use. So we are going to be able to go flying out here and do 2 really good shots to get ourselves up the grid, but we're going to move on to the start of Q3.
Okay, span radio check, radio check.
Loud and clear.
Alright, so we're on board with Ocon here. Alonso looks like he got a really bad run there. Looks like he got held up by one of the Ferraris. Alright, he goes up his first sector. Looks like that's going to be pretty persistent throughout his lap here, but Ocon, he's up as well. Made sure to send them out first. They only have 1 car in between them. We're going to see what Alonso can do in his middle sector. I'm expecting it to be up. It is up. Let's see what Ocon can do. It is going to be down. It's unfortunate. Once Ocon crosses the line, we're going to jump on board with Kevin Magnussen and watch him cross the line here. Looks like Alonso jumps all the way up to 3rd. Ocon only can get up to 5th. We're going to see what Magnussen can do here. Magnussen is the last car on track. We have a Mercedes and 2 Red Bulls crossing the line. We're going to get knocked down to 5th and 6th. What can the AlphaTauri do? AlphaTauri is just behind us, and Magnussen's going to go 10th. Alright, so a very good qualifying effort from us. Ocon's going to start 5th as Alonso's going to go to the back with the grid penalties. So your starting lineup, or your qualifying positions before the race is Leclerc, Sainz, Perez, Verstappen, Alonso going to the back. Ocon, Gasly, Russell, Bottas, Magnussen, Tsunoda, Schumacher with penalties, Ricciardo with penalties, Norris, Hamilton, Zhou Guanyu, Sebastian Vettel getting penalties, Alex Albon not with any penalties, Stroll and Latifi are the final 3 qualifying, but we will see on the grid.
Welcome to race day, and before we get down to it, last-minute checks are being made.
Although we didn't see a standout performance from Alpine during qualifying, everything's still open to them during this race. This weekend, Red Bull displayed real promise during qualifying, but will they fulfill?
Didn't they say last week that we had a really good qualifying when we had Ocon eliminated in Q1?
This is perfect weather.
They said we didn't do a good job. We finished qualified 5th and 6th.
Show us what they're capable of.
Well, we're 52 laps away then from crowning the winner of the British Grand Prix. But one thing is for certain, it's going to be sensational.
Getting ready for the British Grand Prix, we're going to put both cars on the medium tires. We see Alonso starting in 18th position. We're going to go pretty aggressive with the pushing. We got to hope for a safety car or something kind of midway through the race to kind of give Alonso a shot at kind of catching back up. So we're just going to go on this medium on a hard compound strategy. mainly because we don't want to get caught out by a safety car and not be able to put on the tires that can last to the end of the race. So, yeah, we're going to go push straight out the gate. I forgot to change it here. And, yeah, we're going to move on to the start of the British Grand Prix.
It's sunny and bright as the drivers line up on the grid. And there we've got Esteban Ocon. A top 10 position today, but will they be able to capitalise on it? And here's Alonso, the team's second driver. With their starting position in the back 10, they'll have their work cut out for them. Will their hard work pay off today? Hold on tight, it's the British Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
All right, we get off the line here. Go 2 times speed. We're going to watch and see what happens. Hopefully Alonso can move through the pack and not get absolutely murdered by a Red Bull. So we're going to keep an eye on him and just kind of try to take note of what Ocon is doing. We're in 19th place, so we're down a spot for Alonso. We're just going to kind of hang tight here. We're going to watch and see what happens on the first lap, see if anything cool happens. Looks like Ocon is about 1.5 seconds behind the Red Bull of Verstappen. We're going to have him go deploy just to hopefully catch up here. We're actually going to make him push as well.
Alpine just advanced.
So we get Alonso by Latifi. All right, we're now down and close to the back bumper here of the Red Bull ahead of us. So we're just going to skip to the overhead view. We're going to skip forward here. We're going to keep an eye on the gap that Ocon has to Verstappen ahead. Ooh, who ran wide? Is it us?
I think someone's run wide.
Ocon,
Take a
no.
look now. Now have a watch of this. Looks like Ocon. They've gone wide.
Okay, he's fine. All right, so we're going to tell Ocon here
This lap.
to deploy because we need him to catch the back of Verstappen here. So we're going to focus on him here. We need to get by and past Gasly. We're actually going to tell him to just full out attack here.
Alright, mate, let's push.
Copy.
I know we're going to pull Gasly with us, but doesn't really matter. We just need to get within that DRS range of Verstappen ahead of us. We're going to put Alonso on to push here with the fuel. Let him go on to neutral. We're actually going to have him go on overtake while we push here with Ocon. Just need Ocon to get within that range here before his ERS runs out because we need him to jump on harvest soon. Alright, he's still in that 1.8 second gap. It's the fastest lap. Hopefully we can catch up here. It looks like we're not getting close. Alright, we're now within the second. We're going to hold neutral here just so we don't burn it all up. Harvest. Just through maggots and Beckett's. Hopefully we can recharge something here. And recharge us one little bit. Yeah, so we're in a bad spot here. So we're going to go balanced. And we're going to go standard on the tires. Just for a little bit. So it looks like we have 3.4 seconds over Pierre Gasly. Got the 2 Red Bulls ahead of us kind of gapping us. And Leclerc is doing his own thing. So we're going to keep an eye here on what Fernando is doing. He's in a bit of a DRS train at the moment. We're going to get by one of them. We're going to get by Ricardo. We're going to look on the outside here, and we're actually going to get by just one person. So we're going to go on a harvest here because we're looking pretty low on our DRS, or ERS.
That's some more ground gained for Alpine.
Where are we looking in relation to Gasly? Okay, we still have 5th place pretty locked up here behind Gasly. Alright, we're going to have DRS now. Move past Stroll. Alright, so we look like... Oh, man. Yeah, we're gonna have to keep conserving here for Alonso, unfortunately. Looks like Stroll, we might break Stroll here while harvesting. That shows the strength of our car here. Ocon, 3.6 back. We're gonna put him on a neutral now. Gonna keep an eye. We're gonna actually let Alonso just do his thing for a bit. We're gonna see if he's able to catch up to Zhou, and he is slowly. We're gonna let him harvest until his DRS or ERS, sorry, comes back, and we're gonna have him go in balance because we're just burning fuel here. Got a yellow flag there. I wonder what that was for.
I think we've had a car run wide.
So Perez ran wide. Oh, Ocon is right there. Okay, we're gonna have to jump on board with Ocon here. This is our shot to potentially catch a Red Bull. We're going full deploy. Hopefully we can catch the DRS. If we can just catch the DRS just once, I think that's going to be a major game changer for our race here. He's outside the DRS of Verstappen, so we're going to be in a position here to kind of catch up and hold with him a little bit here. If we can get there. I don't care. We're going to go full, just everything. The ERS is fully charged for Alonso. We're going to have him go neutral. Where is he in relation to Zhou? 3.2 seconds back.
No lift and coast required from our side at the moment.
Alright, is he going to get DRS? Okay, he just got DRS, so we're going to go harvest. We're going to go balanced, and then we're going to go standard, or aggressive on the tires. Do not want him to pass. We want him just to hold the DRS, use it to his advantage. Alright, and what is Alonso doing? We're going to just let Alonso deploy here. We're just going to see what he can do just over this lap here, and see if he can get within that 1 second to Zhou. It looks like we have a very big DRS train that goes all the way up to 8th position. If we're able to kind of get onto that train, we're going to be able to gain some spots here. So Ocon's still hanging with Perez. Good to see. Hopefully we can get our full ERS back, and we can maybe even try to leapfrog Perez and get to the Ferrari ahead. While we do that, we're going to be pushing here with Alonso. We're going to actually tell him to push so he's in the DRS. Quickly. In the DRS now? No, he's not. Alright, so he is in a second here. I'm going to tell him to harvest now. Alright, we're going to tell him to go standard on his tires, and we're going to tell Ocon to go standard on his. And then we're going to go 16 times here. We're going to watch and wait until one of them hits full battery here. Caution sector 2. What was that for? That for Sonoda. Alright, got ERS fully charged on Ocon, who is just behind. So we're going to wait a little bit.
We've just had a spin.
Yeah, Sonoda spun. Let's watch it.
Let's take a look at the replay. Now let's look at this. The focus on Sonoda.
Alright, and he was in front of us, so that's good for us. So that's good to see. Alright. So we're going to wait until Alonso's fully charged. Got a yellow flag sector 2. What is that for? Alright, it's not going to show us, but...
We've just had a car run wide.
Alright, Russell ran wide. Where does that put him? Alright, so it looks like we're going to have to focus on Alonso here for a little bit. We're going to tell him to go light on the tires. Just to kind of get some of that tire temp out. Alright, so we're going to jump on board with Alonso. And we're going to tell him to go overtake. Picked a great position to tell him to go overtake on. Come on, Norris. We're going to get by him here. Does not look like we are. Opportunistic overtakes. Alright, are we going to get him here? Hopefully we get the DRS while we're alongside of him. Did we not get DRS there? What the hell is that? Alright, Norris is holding us up. Tiffy, who's just pitted. Doesn't really matter to our race, but just thought it was important to say that. Okay, looks like we're going to get by him pretty easily here. We're going to put him on deploy to hopefully latch on to Zhou ahead of us. 1.7 back. Those tire temperatures look like good on the tire temperatures, so we're going to go back onto standard. Just need to get in the DRS as quickly as possible. We're going to go on a neutral now, so we cannot use up the end of our DRS there. Once we get one DRS zone, we're going to go full harvest with... Alright, we're going to go harvest now. Alright, so we're going to focus on Ocon here. So Ocon is just behind Perez. I wonder what's good to do here with Perez. I wonder if it's good to just sit here, or maybe if it's worth it to kind of go for a charge. We're just going to tell him to go for a charge here, see what we can do. Maybe we can... we're going to go neutral here. We're going to wait until we turn out of this corner right up here, and then we're going to tell him to overtake.
Good overtake from Alpine.
Alright, so Alonso got by Zhou. So we get by him here. We need to go full deploy. Go standard. See if we can break him out of the DRS.
Alfa Romeo just moved up a place.
Alright, it does not look like we're going to be able to get him out of the DRS. Alright, we're going to put him back onto neutral. Alright, so it looks like we're going to be in a position here to kind of chill. We're actually going to tell him to harvest. Hopefully Perez passes us so we can go on full harvest, and we are. Alright, so we're going to see what's going on here with Alonso as... Oh, Verstappen's right up here. Okay. We're going to go full overtake. Or neutral. Here. And hopefully we can follow Verstappen by Zhou. And we can latch on to Verstappen. So if we can latch on to Max, that's going to be incredibly good for us as Zhou is holding us up. Ruining our plan here. Come on, get in there. Alright, deploy. Oh my god. So Ocon's still holding on to the back of Perez. Alright, so hopefully we can just shoot by Zhou here as we're on overtake. And we can use that to latch on to Verstappen. We need it to make this work immediately. Come on, Alonso. Come on, dude. Neutral. We're going to sit behind Ocon here, see what can happen.
Need to recharge off.
Copy.
Alright, and we get checked up that corner because apparently we can't go side by side through there. That's fantastic. That's great. Amazing. Love it. Alright, so it looks like we're going to be sitting behind Zhou for a little bit. Alright, so we're going to fast forward through here. We're going to wait until we see Perez pit. I know we've entered our pit window, but we're just going to hold on here and hold on to the DRS with Perez.
Alpine just advanced. Vettel gained a place.
Alright, so we just got our full ERS here. We're going to jump on board with Alonso. We're going to go onto his onboard camera and go here. We're going to tell him to deploy. And we're also going to tell him to full out freaking attack here. Hopefully we can gap Joe, get him away from us. So the DRS detection was in that zone, so he's still going to get DRS, I think. Alright, so hopefully we can gain something through this sector here. So we get 2.9 back to Verstappen. Ocon is still holding on to the back of Perez. Alright, so Perez is just pitting, so we're going to have him go full out, deploy, attack, hit onto the hard tires. Want him to stick in the DRS. Alright, we're just going to be pushing here with Alonso. And if it looks like that he's going to run out of ERS here, we're just going to... Alright, so this is optimal pit lap. Don't care. So Alonso does the fastest lap of the race. So our whole goal here is to see if we can catch Verstappen. Unlikely, but we might. If we are able to catch him, we can go on to conserve... or harvest, I mean. But if we do not catch him, which we would have to get in the DRS by the end of this lap.
DRS is disabled.
Copy.
Alright, so we're going to need to fast forward here. We're going to have to wait till the back straightaway. Alright, we get the DRS. Okay, sweet. Alright, so we're going to have Alonso go on to neutral. We're going to have him catch up to Verstappen here. Ocon is pitting. Wait, did Ocon get the fastest lap while being in the pits? That's hilarious. Alright, so we're going to tell Ocon to go standard and go neutral. We're actually going to have him harvest. So we're going to have him go aggressive because this is about when he was supposed to pit. So we're catching Alonso here. Okay, so that is... problem. Perez. Alright, hopefully we can catch up to him. Stay in his DRS here.
Red Bull moved up.
As long as we can hold in his DRS, we're fine. Alright, so we're going to hold in Verstappen's DRS until we lose it. We're going to go full overhead. We're going to fast forward to 16 times here. We're just going to see what happens.
Someone's run wide.
We actually have Alonso conserve here. So he's going to go a hell of a lot faster as he's starting to lose time now to Verstappen. There's another caution in Sector 2. So we're going to have Ocon actually go neutral. We're going to wait until we get a warning. Alright, so we're going to go on to neutral with Ocon. And we're going to have him... Don't fight your teammate. Alright, so we're going to have to pit Alonso onto the hards.
Hey, firm.
Alright, so we're going to pit him onto the hards now, but we're going to have him go standard. We're just going to have him standard in. Why not? Hopefully have him hold the DRS of Ocon. So we're going to watch where he comes out in relation to his teammates. Or where he's going to come out in relation to anybody. As Ocon is starting to fall out of the DRS range here, we're going to have him go and deploy. Alright, we're going to have Alonso stay on neutral here. So Ocon's in the DRS. Sweet. So we're going to have him go on a harvest now, as Alonso is going to come in this lap. We're just going to fast forward here. We're just going to keep an eye on Ocon's gap to Verstappen now. Alright, so we're going to have him go on neutral.
Okay, Sven, let's go recharge off. Recharge off.
Alright, so Alonso is currently in 6th place. Where is he going to rejoin? He's going to rejoin right at the end of this pack here. And we're going to go full deploy. We're going to go full attack. And we're going to just not do anything on the fuel because the fuel makes me nervous. Alright, so no DRS out of pit road. Ocon is still healthily hanging on to the 2 Red Bulls. Alright, so we're going to set this to harvest, and we're going to let Alonso just kind of do his thing. We're going to wait until we get the ERS full for Alonso, and then we're going to make a full-on attack here, and it is. So we're going to go... We're going to see where Alonso is. We're just about to go into an overtaking zone. So let's see what he can do here. Alright, so he's going to get by Bottas. So we need to actually get by him here, not have him sticking on the outside. Alright, we got Gasly right in front of us. We're right on his gearbox. Alright, let's see if we can make a move out of Maggots and Beckett's.
Good overtake from Alpine.
Best plan of action here is we actually have momentum on Gasly. We're able to pass him and pass Hamilton. We're going to have him go on a harvest.
Just advanced.
And we're going to have him go on standard. Just to see what he can do here. Alright, well, since he's ahead, just go full deploy and attack, and let's see what happens. This is not how my plan was supposed to work. Alright, so we're 1.4 seconds out. We're going to go to him. We're going to put check off don't fight teammate. Just in case. Okay. We're going to see what he can do here. He's about to run out of ERS. We're going to put him on harvest for a minute. Gonna let him keep pushing here. We're going to see what Ocon is doing. I think best course of action here with Ocon is to let him just chill. You can make a charge late in the race.
Was that a lock-up on the track?
So we're just going to recharge the ERS here on Alonso. Oh, we got pitters ahead of us. Okay, so we're going to go on to push now. Ocon. ERS is fully charged with Alonso. We're going to see where he is in relation to those ahead of him. Alright. So Ocon has 1.2 seconds over Leclerc, and Alonso is now ahead of Verstappen. Alright, so we're going to have him full deploy just for a little bit. And Ocon has lost touch of of Perez, so we're going to have him go full overtake here. Just for a little bit. See if we can catch up to the back bumper of Perez. Need to be able to do that here. So Alonso, we're going to have him go on neutral now because he has about 2.4 seconds over Mr. Max Verstappen. We're going to see what his tire temperature's at. He's kind of up there with this temperature, so we're going to have him go on standard for a minute. We're just going to see what Ocon can do here. We're going to keep him on over, or whatever this is called, deploy. For the new fastest lap with Fernando Alonso. Alright, so we're very close to breaking into the 1 second range for DRS coming out of Maggots and Beckett's. And we are just crossing over into that. We're going to use the rest of our ERS here to hold, get close. Alright. Are we going to gain? Are we going to gain? We're gaining, we're gaining, we're gaining. Harvesting, harvesting, harvesting. And we're going to go standard. Where's Alonso? Alright, so fastest lap just goes to Ocon. So we're going to watch Alonso and what his gap is to Verstappen. Keep an eye on Ocon, making sure that he stays where he needs to stay. Alright, so we're going to jump on board with Alonso here, and we're going to have him go full deploy for at least a lap or so. Looking at the 2x speed here. He's going to be doing that, and we're going to have him go full attack. Alright, so Ocon has just gotten passed by Leclerc. We're going to have him go into neutral. We're going to focus on Alonso here for a minute. Let him push.
Oh, and Ferrari just gained a place.
Alright, so hopefully we can hang here with Leclerc. Alright, so we're going to go into neutral now. We see That's not Ocon. That's Latifi. Alright. Ocon. We're going to go overtake on Ocon, so we're going to hold overtake here to hopefully get by the Red Bull, and we're going to try to tandem with Leclerc into a podium place finish here. Hopefully we're able to do that. If they hold each other up a little bit, we're going to be right in the spot to make a move. Alright, now's the time to go on attack. Attack, let's attack, let's attack, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Alright, so he's going to have DRS, we're going to have DRS. Concern is if Perez is going to let Leclerc break the DRS. Looks like my answers to those questions are potentially. Oh, come on, Perez. You either get to him or you just get the hell out of our way. Guess we're going harvest, we're going standard, we're going to try to save some tires here. What the hell? We are always getting screwed over by lap cars. This is ridiculous. So full out attack. You get back in that second gap. Don't have DRS. They're going to gap us here. We're not going to have enough ERS to make it.
DRS disabled, DRS disabled.
Who the hell was that? Vettel?
Copy.
I'd curse Stroll, but everyone likes Vettel, so I'm not going to say anything bad about Vettel. So hopefully we stay within that second here. Hopefully that was in the DRS, and it is. So we're going to harvest. Hopefully we're going to have enough DRS at the end of the straight here to kind of do something, and we aren't. Keep on full out attack. We're gapping Verstappen a little bit here, so that's good to see. Alright, so it looks like we are going to miss out here on a podium. So we go neutral here and just kind of chill for a minute. Maybe let him push a little bit on the fuel. Try to keep an eye on what that's doing. Yeah, we're losing too much time. I don't want to run out of fuel, so we're going to go balanced. We're even going to put him on standard here. We're just going to kind of concede our position here. We're going to have him harvest. And yeah, we're just going to keep an eye on what Alonso is doing here. Just hopefully not getting screwed by another Aston Martin. So we're just going to fast forward through here. Keep an eye on Verstappen in relation to Alonso. Alright, so we have full ERS. We're going to go neutral here, and hopefully at the end of the race, we can just catch the fastest lap here. So we're going to look at the
Recharge off.
tire. Ooh, sector 2. Caution. Alright, it's just somebody running wide. We're going to go on to standard here, and we're going to see if that's going to affect Alonso for a minute. Alright, so it looks like he's going to get a little bit closer to us if we're just holding neutral, but it seems like it's kind of holding steady there. Sector 2. Alright.
Did somebody spin out there?
Vettel spins. That's what you get for holding us up and breaking our DRS train. Alright, so it's 51. Alright, so we're going to have Ocon on this lap go full attack. Push on the fuel. Deploy. We're going to look at where Alonso is. Alonso should just be coming up there. We're going to have him go full attack. Push. And we'll also go deploy. We're going to see if we can get either one of them to get something going here. So we're going to jump on board with Ocon halfway through his lap here. Alright, so we're just going to go neutral now. See if Perez is going to be able to get by Leclerc here. Might have a shot. It's like Sainz wins here. It looks like Perez is going to have a shot. No, he is not. We're going to see what Ocon's doing lap times wise. Looks like Alonso's got a purple first sector. Down his middle sector. That would be because of the DRS. We're going to see what happens when he crosses the line.
Okay, that's the checkered flag.
Great job, guys.
Well, that was an eventful one. Fantastic. See you back. Okay, that was a checkered flag.
Yeah, well done, guys.
This is a performance to remember from Esteban Ocon. Extraordinary. Great racing from Alpine here today. Some high quality work all round.
The whole team was absolutely on their game today, and the result proves that.
That's right, and they finished the race weekend in third place in the constructor standings.
Next time, the teams will be forging ahead at full throttle through the Styrian forest. The Austrian Grand Prix is right around the corner.
Alright, so your results for this race. I know I was a little bit dejected that Ocon broke out of the DRS of the top 2 or top 3 there. So our opportunity to get on the podium for Ocon again was kind of taken from us with the lap car, but 4th and 5th, especially with Alonso starting back, in 18th place, that's a fantastic result again. So we get the fastest lap. We get 4th and 5th. We finish ahead of Max Verstappen in a Red Bull. That was just us being ahead of him and being able to manage our gap and keep him behind us. So we're going to get 23 points out of this weekend. Your points for the race is George Russell, Kevin Magnussen, Valtteri Bottas, Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, Alonso, Ocon, your podium, Perez, Leclerc, and your winner, like in real life, Carlos Sainz. Just show you kind of who finished up. Outside the points, Tsunoda, Guan Yu, Gasly, Norris, Schumacher, Ricciardo, Vettel, Stroll, Albon, and Latifi. Alright, so looking at your driver's standings, we have Leclerc still on top, Carlos Sainz closing up a little bit. Perez is still ahead of Verstappen, but yeah, it seems like Perez is even able to kind of extend his gap a little bit there, so good job there for him. Alonso solidly in 5th place ahead of Ocon, who moves ahead of Hamilton. So we now have 2 Alpines in the top 6 in points. We are the separators between Ferrari, Red Bull, and everyone else. Valtteri Bottas moves ahead of George Russell, so yeah, it looks like we're punching well above our weight here. Bottom 5 drivers that still haven't scored a point: Tsunoda, Vettel, Stroll, Albon, and Latifi. Looking at your Constructors' Championship, Ferrari are blowing off the doors of Red Bull are blowing our doors off. Somehow we are far enough ahead of Mercedes to where I'd consider that a blowing off of their doors. Mercedes are far enough ahead of Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo is pretty decently ahead of AlphaTauri. Haas gained points that race, while AlphaTauri does not. Haas have 17 points this year, so that's cool for them. Aston and Williams have not scored yet. And McLaren this year are doing absolutely atrocious with 8th place at the moment. Alright, so looking at our driver experience, Duhan gets another point. Hopefully that increases his overall. Looking at our expenses, we have both drivers finishing within the in their bonus range, so we have to pay out almost $1 million to the 2 drivers, but we're still going to walk away with $3.7 million. Alright, we have our first research project completed, so that's a research for our underfloor, which I think applies to next year's car. Alright, so from the driver screen, looking at Duhan, we're going to give him a point in smoothness, as always. It's going to go up, but not his overall. Alright, so that concludes today's episode. That was a very good race, considering we had Alonso starting in the back, taking some penalties and stuff for engines and whatnot. So we're going to be in a good spot for the rest of the year with kind of our allotment for what we could do for the gearboxes and the ERS, general powertrain stuff. We have another regulation vote in a week, so that'll not be next episode, but that'll be the week after, so that'll be interesting to see what that's for. We just had our car research finished, so maybe we can look at another project there that we can work on for next year. So yeah, we have a lot of stuff in our future that's going to be pretty cool to look at. Hopefully we can get closer and closer to the end of the season here, and hey, maybe even get our performance up to where we can fight Red Bull. But if you like today's episode, like, comment, subscribe, all that dumb YouTube stuff, and I hope you have a good rest of your week.